Happy Pam Friday Crash Out. We have a lot of ground to cover today, so let's get into it. I received these 3 emails at 7 p.m., 10 p.m., and 3 a.m. The first one's titled, I'm starting to worry. Sydney, I'm trying very hard to remain calm, but I do not feel right. I have spent the entire evening feeling pressure in my chest and in my heart, and my heart has been racing for hours. First, I thought perhaps it was anxiety from everything that had been happening recently. Now, I'm not so sure. The timing seems difficult to ignore. Weeks of emotional stress, weeks of heartbreak, weeks of worrying about my son, and now this. I have been sitting here trying to convince myself that everything's fine, but honestly, I don't know if that's true anymore. Something feels very wrong, deeply wrong. I'm considering going to the hospital because I would rather overreact than ignore the warning signs. If this is stress-related, then frankly, I think everyone needs to start taking emotional health a little more serious. Please let my son know. Pam. The next one is, I'm in the emergency room, received at 10 p.m. last night. Sydney, I'm currently at the hospital. And before anyone says I'm overreacting, I was advised that it was better to come in and to be evaluated. The doctors have already completed an EKG and started me on heart monitor. They have drawn my blood, they're continuing tests, and I'm also currently receiving oxygen because they felt it would help me while they continue to evaluate what's happening. I have wires attached everywhere, machines are making noises, nurses are coming and going, and yet somehow I'm sitting here worrying about my son? ? The doctors have asked me numerous questions regarding recent stress. Numerous questions. That tells me they clearly believe that this is somehow connected. Why else would they keep asking me? At this point, nobody has given me a definite answer, but they're continuing to run tests, which means they believe something is worth investigating. I just wish my son knew what was happening. Pam. The next one is in all caps, and it says, somebody please call my son. 3 a.m. Sydney, it's nearly 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still here. The heart monitor remains attached. The oxygen remains attached. The tests continue. The doctors continue walking in and out of my room discussing different possibilities. I have now had multiple rounds of testing, and they're still searching for answers, which honestly frightens me more than if they would have just immediately found something. Because clearly they believe that something's causing these symptoms, or they would not be looking. At this point, I've asked whether prolonged emotional distress could trigger a cardiac event. No one would give me straight answers. At this point, I asked whether years of accumulated stress and heartbreak can eventually overwhelm the body. Again, no straight answer. I'm trying to stay positive. I really am. I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared. What troubles me most is that my son absolutely has no idea that I'm sitting here. And I'm not asking anyone to pressure him, and I'm not asking anyone to make him feel guilty. I would never do that. I'm simply asking that if this situation becomes a little more serious, and he was never informed, I don't know how either of us could live with that. Please, if someone could reach out to him, simply just tell him his mother's in the hospital and is asking for him. That's all. Pam. P.S. The doctors have not ruled anything out yet, and that is what worries me the most. Tell me what you think, and there's more to come.